Hello, everyone, and welcome in. I'm Taffany, and I hope you are having a wonderful day today. So I am on my driveway to give you a quick look at my side gardens and my front gardens. I have not done much work on the front and the sides yet. They will be something I will be getting to over the next couple of weeks because my focus has been on the courtyard garden and the back garden. But here we're going to start with this bed along our neighbor's fence. It has onion, lilies, a ligustrum shrub there, and it is already mulched. As you can see, I have to plant and then mulch the other beds along the front and side. But this bed is so neat, well organized, very pretty. I have the plans of planting more in this bed, more evergreen structure, more evergreen interest. As a matter of fact, as you look here to this corner behind this onion, I am going to be putting a tall evergreen there, conifer style. And right here, kind of behind this onion and between the lily and the onions on both sides, there will be another evergreen structure, tall, linear, to flank the ligustrum shrub that, as it grows and thickens up, will fill in the middle part there. Now we're going to head over to this side. I have mulch left, as you can see, which I need to use up. But if you look in that corner, I don't remember what I had planted there. I think grasses, and they did not make it through the winter, but I do have a lily that made it and an onion. Here in the center, I have a camellia, a beautiful pink camellia, and I have a couple of seedlings of zinnias, which, as you know, I transplanted throughout the backyard. I also did a lot of transplanting along the front of the little seedlings. I figured I might as well use them everywhere I can. I also planted little seedlings over here, which I forgot to show you. So you can see I've got 4. There's one kind of underneath there, if you can get a good look. There we go. And then one right there, and then one more right here. So I put them in the open spots so that they can fill them in and add a nice pop of color. But that is what I did for that bed and this bed. You will see more of the zinnias as we head to the front. But right here, you will see I've got a limelight hydrangea, a no, I'm sorry, that is a lantana, and it is really thick and full. And here I have a daffodil that did not bloom. It came up but did not bloom. So my daffodils in the front were pretty much a bust this year, but they've been there for a couple years, so I don't know, I guess they're tired. But I have a Radicans gardenia that just is not doing good, so I'm going to pull that. I also have a right there. I've got a lantana, and I've got this limelight hydrangea, which only seems to have leaves coming on one branch, so I will keep my eye out on that. Now, as I get to the center of this bed and I step back, you can see there are multiple zinnias planted along the front here. I'm telling you, I took advantage of all of those seedlings and I just planted them everywhere I could. I wanted to save my resources for the courtyard garden, and so that is what I did. I've just planted them everywhere I could. That in the middle is an azalea that I have to replace. It has been that size for 3 years, so it's time to go. We have another limelight hydrangea, another lantana, another camellia, and a hibiscus, which actually has some leaves coming up from the bottom. I have some weeds right there in front, clovers, but you can kind of see leaves coming up there. So that is the side bed, which brings us to this front. And here in the front, I have 3 rows of plantings in this corner. I have a back row of lilies, and these are the orange fulva lilies. I divided some and moved them to the front so that I could have spring color up here. The middle row are zinnias and vincas. The vincas were there last year. I did not pull them up, and they are literally all coming back. And then here are the zinnias I transplanted. You can see that one has a bud ready to open. And then the outer layer are all Mexican heather, which will form a nice tight green hedging there on the outer edge with the little purplish flowers. So it's going to be really pretty. And then we also have Italian cypress. We also have these hollies in the back. And right here in the front is an agapanthus or African lily, and it is ready to bloom. It's bursting with buds, so I can't wait to see it bloom. Here in the middle, we have two azaleas at the back. In the center row there are nandinas, and then another azalea, and then a row of seedlings again of zinnia along the front, and a couple of daffodils rather that just didn't do anything. There is grasses and agapanthus again. I took babies from this bunch right here and I moved those babies right there so I can kind of balance it out. Excuse me. And it's ready to bloom too, as well as the Stella Deora lilies right here. And then this bed finishes off with liriope grasses along the outer edge there with my cat with the bird on its head. It's cute. And we have the grasses over here as well, and my garden flag with my little cat on it taking a nap. So we've got the liriopes leading into another cluster of African lilies or agapanthus, which does not seem to have any buds on it or anything. Again, another daffodil that did not do anything, a couple of hollies, and a front row of zinnias. Seedlings again. And just envision once all of these seedlings are large and blooming. And then I have the hostas that I transplanted from the courtyard garden. And then we get to the end of this bed, which has the same setup as the other corner. 3 rows of planting. The front row is a row of Mexican heather. The middle is a row of zinnia seedlings. And the back is a row of lilies with actually there are a few there that have buds on them ready to bloom, and you can see blooms on the zinnias as well. So I think everything's coming along over here pretty good. Look at the buds on the lilies. And this Italian cypress, which was looking kind of stressed, still has some parts that aren't looking too good, but I see some new growth on it, so it's trying to stay alive. And then we have the birds of paradise here in the corner that is coming back. And then the main structure in this bed, which I need to get out and do some pruning, is this sunshine ligustrum. Forgive me for the glare, but I can't really do anything about the position of the sun, so let's just move over a little. But I need to prune up the bottom and get it refreshed. And it's pruned into the shape of a tree. And then we have these podocarpus. I'm not sure which kind of podocarpus, but these are obviously larger growing. And they were here when we moved in, and I don't like them. They're not even and balanced, and I just don't like them. I think something shorter growing here would look good. And last season, I told you we have plans of removing them. We still do. It's just on the list, it's kind of at the bottom because there are other things we need to do. Now let's take a look at our circle beds. This bed gets more sun than the other bed. This is a shady area up here because of these 2 pine trees and our neighbor's trees. And so things don't grow equally between the circle beds. We have 2 azaleas over here which didn't make it. We've got lantanas. We've got a Parsons juniper right there. The 2 lantanas are on the outer edge of the Parsons junipers. And the lantanas do great, obviously. These azaleas, they're just gone. And so there's 2 lantanas on that side and then 2 lantanas on this side. And we have in the center Liriope grasses. Looks like a few did not make it, but then I put a little bitty seedling of zinnia there. Why not? But again, I have not worked in these beds, so this is my, task coming up over the next few weeks, my front garden. On this side, there's more shade, and the azaleas, while this one seemed to have been struggling, it's got a lot of new leaves, little baby growth on it, so it is fighting and coming back. Again, like the other bed, we've got 2 lantanas, and I have nothing planted in the center there. I've got a lot of clover weeds, as you noticed, that I need to get out here and pull. We've got Parsons juniper there in the middle. I will figure out the plan for these beds. I haven't thought about it yet, but this azalea is doing good. And then of course we've got 2 more lantanas on this side, and as you can see, I really need to get out here and prune off the branches on the lantanas. Look at that azalea. I'm just surprised at how well it's doing on this side versus the other side. We have Liriope grasses. The begonias survived the winter over here. And there's this wonderful ant's nest that I have to deal with, this big ant mound. So there's a lot of work to do up here. Pruning, planting, little cleaning up, getting, a lot of the pine needles up if I can. But eventually we have to get the podocarpus out. I think it affects the look of the overall garden up there. And that ligustrum really needs to be pruned. It's looking kind of wild. So overall, this is the front garden, and I wanted to show this to you so you can see what everything looks like before it's touched. You can see all the flaws, all the failures, and the successes as well. Because everything is not always going to look good. So you will have this frame of reference of what everything looks like before versus what it will look like after, once I get out here and start adding more color, more flowers, we get it mulched and everything like that. So anyway, guys, this is an overall look of the front garden. I hope you enjoyed taking this garden walk with me, and I wanted to take the time and talk you through this so that you can know everything that's up here, and I can kind of explain to you what I'm thinking about, what I want to do, and just to kind of help guide you along with what's there and where we're headed. So guys, thank you for joining me in the garden today. I hope you enjoyed this walk. I hope you enjoyed the tour, and I will see you in the next video. Take care, guys. Bye.